What's up guys, I'm back and I'm here to make a video for my friend showing him how Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition runs on a Razer Edge Pro and what's the best settings for it, how to run it in 60 frames per second. So let's start this tutorial by going into Documents and Capcom. Okay, Resident Evil 5. Oops, clicked on a random game. Okay, Resident Evil 5. And there's a config ini file, which I didn't know until I started looking into settings. So let's move this a little bit closer to the camera. Alright. Now what you want to do is just copy my settings exactly the way they are. If you need to take a second to pause the screen, go ahead. I mean, this has worked for me. It's solid 60 frames per second, no frame drops. And you can really enjoy the gameplay. As you can see, most of the settings are on high, except the HDR. I put that on low because I started getting issues with frame drops when there's too many enemies on the screen. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth. But with that on low, you shouldn't have that problem. Okay, just to give you guys a look at that. So that's the settings in the ini, okay, which is basically the configuration file. Okay, so let's close out of that and let's get to the game and look at the in-game settings, just in case they differ. Let's load that up real quick. Put this centered. Let's turn off the light for a minute. Matter of fact, I'll turn off the light after we see the settings. Okay, so let's go to System Settings and let's take a look at what we have here in the in-game settings, the way I have it. Now I have frame rate unlocked. VSync on, 1280 by 720 internal resolution. You could probably get away with making it a little bit higher, but always notice that everything on the Razer Edge Pro is safe at 1280 by 720. You know, you don't have to worry about frame drops most of the time. I like motion blur. That's not really necessary, but I think it makes the game so much better. Most games so much better. You want to turn shadows low. Because shadows usually have a significant impact on the gameplay. Everything else pretty much on high. You take off this anti-aliasing, LI, whatever you pronounce that. That's pretty much it. And let's see how the gameplay runs. I have a frame per second counter on the top, and I'll show you guys that while we're playing the game. I'm already somewhat into the game. Oh, let me turn off the light so you guys won't get the glare from my light, you know. I'm just gonna continue from where I left off. I'm like on somewhere near the beginning. Hope you guys got a good angle at this. Sorry, my camera sucks. Alright, let's just get ready up. Yes. And let's get to some gameplay. So my friend said on his Razer Edge Pro, it seemed like it was capped at like 30 frames per second. So let's take a closer look real quick at the frames. As you can see, it's a solid 60 frames per second with those settings mostly on high. And a lot's going to go on the screen in a second, and you're going to see that it's still running just as smooth. Sorry, my camera sucks, but it's the best I can do. Alright, let's go in here. Let's get to some enemies. What the heck was I doing last? Did I come from here? Yeah, because Shella's just going to stand around and allow me to do all this stuff. NPC-ass character.
We can't get in from here.
I can't get in from here. Ma'am? That is just cruelty towards women. I didn't do this. Chris did this. Chris is a bastard. As you guys see, it's playing very smoothly. No issues, no hiccups, no problems, running at 60 frames per second. This is Windows 10. I don't know if that makes a difference. And you're able to really enjoy and have fun with this game. Considering I didn't really care for this game when I had it on PS3. Also, it didn't look this good on PS3. It wasn't in 60 frames per second on PS3 when I played it. And that aside from it being actually portable, makes a big difference. And Resident Evil 6 plays just as good as this does. For me. I mean, there's not really much else to show. The whole game runs like this. I was just in the area. I tested out the area where you're being ambushed by a whole bunch of them, and the and the giant axe creature, and I got the same performance as this. So just copy my settings exactly, and you shouldn't have any issues as far as the performance. If you do, I'm not sure why. Really, it should run just as smooth as this. This is very fun to play when it's portable because you can play it on the train. You can really, you know, enjoy it. Any offline game. Oh, try to hit him. Chris is a bastard. Alright guys, so again, this is for my friend. Just wanted to make this video. I already have a video on Resident Evil 6 running, 60 frames per second, but I never made a video on this. And actually I downloaded it just to make this video, but I think I might actually play this game through, because I never actually played and beat Resident Evil 5, even on the PS3 where I had it. Only because I started playing it with my brother, and then we never finished it together, and it was one of those things that you start something together, you just can't play by yourself afterwards in the middle of the game. So that was one of the Resident Evils I actually skipped because of that. But now that I got it on the go, I mean, it's the best way to have it. Alright guys, see you next time.